Hi, my name's Jan and welcome to Printing RX, and in this series we're going to be tackled Tinkercad. Tinkercad is a very useful tool when you're doing the 3D printing world, especially when you're a beginner. It just makes it so much easier to be able to change objects, move objects. So very simple, we can start with tinkercad.com, and if you haven't got an account yet, all you need to do is create one and log in, and you can do that for your Google account then as well. It's totally free, so no costs or anything like that involved. So this video today is lesson number 1, the absolute basics, and with this I'm going to basically cover some of the simple things in here, and I'm going to look at predominantly the menus then. So starting up at the top left here, you can see that my Tinker is called Mighty Jofo. We might give it a different name. Let's call it lesson 1. Might be a better name to use. And then from here we're going to go through every single tool in here. Now as you can see here, most of them are basically blotched out because we haven't got anything on the picture. So let's just grab a block on the side and we'll just place it down in the middle. So now you can see we've got these things are not blotted out anymore. So the first one's very simple, copy. I think everybody understands copy and paste in these days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in onto that block now, and I can do it one of two ways. I can either use the mouse wheel, or I can simply select this button here and it will take me right up to the image. For me that's a bit close, so we can use a minus button, go back a bit, and we can get closer again as well. This one here will just bring us and put us into a different perspective. I'm not a fan of that perspective, so let's rather go back to a bit more of a 3D perspective as such. So let's start with copy and paste. So simply copy, we've copied it, paste, and we paste the new one right there. What's nice about the copy and paste is we can actually copy and paste from other sessions we could go in. So let's say you've got another one open, copy and paste that object over straight into this one. Next one is duplicate. Duplicate is going to create another copy of the object in exactly the same place. So we hit duplicate. Now, this is where duplicate becomes powerful. So now we have object 1 and object 2. So I'm going to take the duplicated one that's selected. Now I'm going to move it out just a little bit like this, and I'm going to rotate it 22.5 degrees. So now you'll see that obviously that block is different. Now let's say I want to repeat that what I've done. I don't have to go and do another duplicate, turning it again. I can simply hit the duplicate button again, and it's going to duplicate what I've done. So if I've moved it, it's going to move it the same amount, same direction, and also if I've turned it as well. So let's duplicate it, and you'll see the next one has been placed like that. And if we carry on like that, we're going to get a nice little circular pattern. Okay, so great. There's our circular pattern. Now, the next button, self-explanatory, trash can, don't like it, trash it. Next one's undo it. Still didn't like it, let's redo the trash. So very straightforward and simple. Home just takes us back to this block over here, and as I said earlier, this zooms in on the selected pieces, plus, minus, and that changes our perspective to that again. Right, now we're going to move on to the other side, and you can see again there's a lot of things that are not available yet. So if we then bring out a few extra objects, let's put a little cylinder over there, and let's say we've got a complex thing going on here, and we've got a whole bunch of these objects, and I don't really want the green one to be, I want to see behind the green one, but I don't want to delete the green one. So from there I can go here, and we can then actually click on the green and we say the little light bulb, let's hide that object. So the green is still there. We haven't done anything to it. I can now move the red, I can now move the blue, I can do that. If I now go hit the light bulb, back's my green one, and we haven't done anything to it. So it's a very handy tool in that sense. Okay, so that's what the light bulb is. Now you'll see that there's some more options in the light bulb. There's for notes and there's for connectors as well. So I'm not going to cover connectors in this video. Notes, very simple. If you look at the side here, you'll see that's a little notes tool. And we just put it down there and we can say ball. And we've got a note. Now, as I said earlier, we can now go, great. We've got the little note there. we can then move it around. You can click on it to see it, and it's got a trash can to delete as well. But we can also then hide it. So we click that button there, now the note's gone, and we can show it again by selecting that button. Let's just delete it for now. We don't need the little note.
Great.
So moving on from here, we're going to look at the next two tools, or the next three actually. And if we've got three objects here, we've got a cylinder, sphere, and a square. If we then want to combine these, so the first thing we want to do is, so let's group it together. So I think let's just add a hole in there as well, just to show you exactly what's happening here. So let's just add a hole like that. So let's say I've got my objects like that together. I can shift select it like that, and I can then go and I can just bundle group it together. Shortcuts Control B. If I bundle group it, I've just grouped it together. So in other words, they're still separate objects, they're just grouped together, and I can go break the group apart, and I can go move each piece. Nothing has changed. Now, the next level of grouping is what we call then the union group. So what it's going to do here is it's going to combine it. It's going to union it. So in other words, the whole is going to cut out pieces of the solids, and the solids are all going to combine into one. So let's use the union, and you can see here, we'll just confirm it. So what's happened now is now we've got a single object, and you can see that piece that's then been cut out from there. Okay. Again, we can simply break it apart again, go work on individual pieces from there. Okay. Right. So for now, let's just group it like that, because this is going to show a little bit better how the mirror tool works. So we've got this bizarre piece now. Let's say like, oh, I actually want to mirror it the other way. You can hit the mirror tool, and you can swap it around. And flip it around like that as well. So that's what's handy about the mirror tool in that sense. So let's just go back. Let's break this apart again. Okay. And the next tool I want to go through is the align tool, which is right through here. So let's say we want to align these things all up. So we select the ones that we want to align. We hit the align button, or L for shortcut.
And we can line them up.
Nicely in the center. You can see they're all nicely centered now. Let's undo that. Let's say, great, we actually wanted to align them only to the blue ball.
So did you see what I did?
So you select all of these, you hit align, then we hit the blue ball. We're going to align all of this now to the blue ball. So let's line it up that way with the blue ball.
So the blue ball hasn't moved.
And where this is handy is that, let's say you've got this whole construction going, and you want to line up just certain parts of it. You can simply align everything to that piece specifically.
Make sense?
Make sense?
Right. Now the next part
is a fun one. It's called cruising. Okay. Now cruising is quite an interesting thing, because we're going to be using cruise with workspace. Now, if we take this object here, okay, and we have a specific workspace for that object. Now let's bring a new one in.
So we click on this one.
We select the workspace, and we want to bring a square in. Can you see that there's a nice little circle on the surfaces of the square? So if I put it on there, it's going to line up like that, and you'll see that it's now got its own unique little workspace. So instead of this one having the flat workspace of the square, you can see there, the green one now has its own workspace in that direction. Now this is where cruising becomes handy, because if we then use this specific tool, we can cruise it along like that. Okay? Now sometimes we don't have the workspace selected. Then we can just hit the cruise tool to do that. Now I think a better example will be, let's use the sphere instead. So let's put a funny little cone like that on it. Okay. And now we're going to click on the cone. We want the cone. If we're going to just select this, you're going to see it's going to go up and down like that. That's not going to help us. Same if we move it this way. Okay. As if we move it like that, it's not going into the sphere. But we want it to cruise in the direction here. So we can click this one to see the plane. So that's the plane along it's going to cruise. Then we hit the cruise button.
So we click on it.
Yeah. So we click on it. We hit the cruise button, and now
when we hit
the
plane button, we can now move
we can now move it across the plane like that.
Now the cruise button.
Now the cruise button just helps us to move that plane. Yes.
So now,
sorry.
let's say we've got
So now, let's say we've got this cone and we want to cruise it along there. We want to make sure, great, we want to put it right there. So remember now, when we started with a new object, let's start with the cone again. That cone will have that circle underneath it. We're cruising it around and we want it there. Great. But let's say we've got a cone now. We've got the plane for the cone. We can move it like that. But if I now move the cone around, it's only going to stay at that plane if I use that plane. Now if you want to move that actual plane, that's where we hit the cruise button. And we can cruise it around again and change that plane. And now we can cruise it in and out like that.
Hope so.
Make sense?
Right.
Hope so.
So that covers now all of these.
So that covers now all of these buttons through the top. The next ones I'm going to show you. We've already spoken about the notes.
The ruler is very handy.
The ruler is very handy. If you want to put a ruler down through here, for example, let's say right by the square. Great, we've got the square in the corner. We want to move this relative to the square. So, okay, so you can see exactly the distances. You can see how high it is. If you raise it up and down, you can see those distances as well. And that's where the ruler is very handy. Okay, the work plane button. Let's say, great, I have moved this thing up through there, and I want to change the work plane up to there. I can actually go and change the whole work plane to start at the top of that. Now, you'll see that all of our stuff is all over the place, but we want it to lie on top of the work plane. So that's where this button comes in, the drop to work plane. Wherever you are, you can hit the drop to work plane button. Okay, and that's going to drop everything back down onto the work plane. Only thing is though is that now you see we've got a very different work plane compared to the blue block. So this is taken over where the original blue block was. Hope that makes sense. Later on we'll be using this a lot more. In general, I try and avoid changing the work plane. Only if I really need it, that's when I will change it.
Last few
buttons, import, save import files, export and send to. And then we've got some little buttons up at the top here, which I'm going to say don't worry about for now. So I hope that covers all the menus for you, and I hope that all makes sense. Next video we're going to go through just the basic shapes and how to understand and use the shapes. I'm also going to talk about how to think in 3D, because very important is to, when you design in 3D and make things 3D, is to try and think of different planes, different positions as well. See you on the next video.